Ready to unlock your notary potential and boost your income? It's time to move beyond basic notarizations. In Notary, Niche Navigator by Derrick Spruill, learn the most profitable specialized services. Learn to master high-demand areas like loan signings, international apostilles, and I-9 employment verifications. This essential guide offers new ideas to help you become the go-to expert in your field. Grab your copy of Notary, Niche Navigator by Derrick Spruill today and start building your empire.
Imagine stamping a single, seemingly routine document for your spouse, only to find out you've just committed a career-ending violation.
Yeah, and honestly, it happens way faster than you think.
Right. And today, we are navigating those hidden landmines that catch even the most seasoned veterans. Welcome to Notary Knowledge. It is so fantastic to be here with you. You know, in prior shows, we covered the basics of notarization, but today we are taking it to the masterclass level.
Absolutely.
We are speaking directly to you, the experienced professional, the person who refuses to leave anything to chance and wants to ensure every single stamp, seal, and signature is just completely bulletproof.
Exactly. But before we get into today's heavy-hitting material, we do want to encourage all of our listeners to buy the Notary Knowledge books by Derrick Spruill.
Oh, yes, definitely.
You can find them just by visiting the Notary Knowledge website. I mean, they are an absolute must-have resource to keep right on your desk. Also, please take a moment to rate the show, subscribe, and, share the broadcast with others in the profession. It really helps us grow this community.
It truly makes a difference. So what is our mission today? Well, we are focusing entirely on Nevada Handbook Essentials and Nevada laws.
Yep.
Because the Silver State has such a unique, tightly regulated landscape, we're just skipping the standard lecture format. Today is a 10-question, high-stakes, multiple-choice challenge.
That's right. We're going to put you to the test with real-world scenarios.
Get ready.
We will set up the situation, pose the question, and give you 3 options. Then, we'll give you a few seconds of thinking time to lock in your answer before we reveal the truth.
And more importantly, explain the legal mechanics behind why the state enforces it so strictly. So, get your mental scratch pad ready.
Let's do it.
Let's jump right into the foundation of your authority. Because before you can authenticate a single signature, you have to navigate the strict gateways of getting commissioned in Nevada.
Right, because the state wants to ensure the public is financially shielded if things go sideways.
Exactly.
Right.
So, here is question 1. How much must the required Nevada notary surety bond be for? And how long is the commission term?
Think carefully. Are your options A, $5,000 for a 2-year term, B, $10,000 for a 4-year term, or C, $15,000 for a 5-year term?
Take a couple seconds to lock that in.
Yeah, tick-tock.
Okay, if you picked option B, you're correct. It is a $10,000 bond for a 4-year term.
Nailed it.
But I want to pause here because a lot of professionals dangerously misunderstand what this bond actually does. I compare the surety bond to liability auto insurance.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Right. It does not protect you, the driver. It protects the public if you crash the transaction.
That is the perfect analogy, really, because if you make a negligent error, say, failing to properly verify an identity, and someone loses money because of it, the state of Nevada uses that $10,000 bond to compensate the victim.
Wow.
But make no mistake, the surety company that paid out that money, they will immediately come after you to recoup their losses.
Right. You are entirely on the hook. So if you want to protect your own personal assets, you need errors and omissions insurance, or E&O.
Exactly.
That is your collision coverage. It covers your legal defense fees and judgments if you make an honest mistake. So Nevada mandates the bond for the public safety, but E&O is the shield you buy for your own peace of mind.
Makes total sense. So let's follow that thread of public protection. Nevada borders several states, which creates massive cross-border business opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
But also jurisdictional headaches. This brings us to question 2. Which of the following out-of-state residents cannot apply for a non-resident Nevada notary commission?
Is it A, a resident of Utah, B, a resident of Colorado, or C, a resident of California?
We'll give you a second.
Got it.
The answer is B. A resident of Colorado cannot apply.
Now, why is the state drawing such a hard line on geography there?
Well, because Nevada law only allows non-resident commissions for adjoining, physically bordering states.
Okay, right.
That means California, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Arizona. But just sharing a border isn't enough. You also must have what the state considers a commercial anchor in Nevada.
Oh, so if I live in Utah, I can't just operate as some wandering freelancer who occasionally drives into Vegas to do a closing?
Nope, exactly. You have to be regularly employed at a business physically located in Nevada or, hold a Nevada state business license yourself.
Oh, wow.
You even have to submit affidavits from your employer proving you work there.
That's intense.
It is, but Nevada does this to maintain a clear legal nexus. If an out-of-state notary goes rogue, the Secretary of State needs a physical legal anchor to hold them accountable. Jurisdiction requires a tether.
That makes total sense. I mean, you can't regulate what you can't reach.
Exactly.
All right, we are going to take a very quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Now that we understand the borders of the commission, let's talk about the business side, getting paid.
The best part.
Right. Because Nevada regulates the economics of this profession down to the penny to prevent price gouging. So here is question 3. Under Nevada Revised Statute 240.10, what is the maximum statutory fee a Nevada notary can charge for taking an acknowledgement for the first signature of each signer?
Your choices are A, $5, B, $7.50, or C, $15.
Take a couple of seconds.
Have your answer.
The correct answer is C, $15.
And that $15 is a hard, inflexible cap for the first signature on a traditional paper document.
Right.
But what's fascinating is how granular the fee schedule gets. Like, if that exact same signer has a second signature on the same document that also requires an acknowledgement, you can only charge $7.50 for that subsequent signature.
Which brings up a massive point of contention for mobile professionals.
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at question 4. Unlike states where travel fees are basically the Wild West and you can charge whatever the market bears, Nevada keeps a very tight leash on you.
Very tight.
If a Nevada notary travels to a client between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m., what is the maximum additional hourly travel fee they can charge, assuming the signer agrees in advance?
Is the cap A, $10 per hour, B, $15 per hour, or C, $30 per hour?
Just take a second to think.
All right, locked it in.
The answer is B, $15 per hour during the day.
Yep.
Now, it does jump to $30 an hour if you're traveling at night between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. But, I mean, I have to push back on the philosophy here.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you are operating an independent mobile business, paying for your own gas, wear and tear on your vehicle, your own marketing, why does the state cap travel fees at all?
It's a fair question.
Shouldn't a business owner be able to charge a premium for the sheer convenience of driving to a client's living room?
Well, from a purely capitalist perspective, sure. But you have to remember that a notary is a quasi-public official. It comes down to Nevada's strict consumer protection framework.
Okay, so.
Notarial acts are required for our most essential and often most vulnerable life events. Executing a will, granting a medical power of attorney, finalizing an adoption.
Ah, so the state is looking at the people who actually need mobile services the most.
Precisely. Often, the people who desperately need a mobile notary are the elderly, the disabled, or patients in hospice care who physically cannot leave their beds.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right, so if Nevada allowed unregulated travel fees, bad actors could exploit these vulnerable populations. They could charge hundreds of dollars just to provide a basic ministerial state function.
Wow, yeah.
So the cap ensures that access to legal and administrative justice remains affordable for everyone.
That reframes it completely. You aren't just an entrepreneur providing a luxury service. You're the delivery mechanism for the state's legal framework. Let's transition from physical travel to digital travel with question 5. This scenario comes from Hazel in New York, who is trying to understand the magic of the internet versus state lines.
This is a tricky one.
Hazel is a commissioned Nevada electronic notary. She is on vacation in New York and receives an urgent request to perform a remote online notarization, or RON, for a client who is physically located back in Nevada. Can she legally log on and perform this notarization?
So what is Hazel's legal standing here? A, yes, she can, because RON platforms operate globally. B, no, she must be physically present in Nevada. Or C, yes, but only if the document is specifically a Nevada real estate deed.
Think about it for a second.
Guide your guess.
The answer is B. She absolutely cannot do this.
No way. Under Nevada law, the signer can be sitting anywhere on the planet.
Yeah.
A beach in Bali, a train in London, it doesn't matter. But the notary must be physically standing on Nevada soil at the exact moment the digital transaction takes place.
It is such a fascinating clash between borderless technology and strict geographical jurisdiction.
It really is.
If Hazel logs into her secure portal from her hotel room in Manhattan and applies her Nevada digital seal, she is acting completely outside her jurisdiction. She's essentially impersonating a state officer, which is a gross misdemeanor.
Yeah, that is a fast track to having your commission permanently revoked.
Definitely.
Let's move from the physical boundaries of the state to the personal boundaries of your relationships. Question 6 comes from Sebastian, a non-resident professional looking closely at Nevada's rules.
Okay.
Sebastian is a commissioned Nevada notary, and his spouse needs a property deed notarized immediately to close a deal. Is this allowed?
Your options are A, yes, if he formally waives his statutory $15 fee.
So,
B, yes, if he notes the familial relationship thoroughly in his journal. Or C, no, it is strictly prohibited.
think on it for just a beat.
All right, the answer is C. It is completely, strictly prohibited.
Yeah, the law is totally uncompromising here. Nevada bans you from notarizing for a spouse, a domestic partner, or any blood relative.
Wow.
And it extends to step relatives and adopted children, too.
But let's dig into the actual mechanism of harm here. Why is the state so paranoid about a husband stamping a document for his wife?
Because the entire foundation of the notary profession is impartiality.
Right.
You are an unbiased third-party witness. If you notarize a deed that transfers property to or from your spouse, you inherently have a financial and personal stake in that transaction.
Right. I mean, your household benefits from it.
Exactly. Fast forward 10 years. If that deed is contested in probate court by other family members, the opposing lawyers will point out that the notary was financially entangled with the signer.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
Totally. They'll argue the document was signed under undue influence, and suddenly that property transfer is invalidated. By keeping it in the family, you destroy the legal shield that the notarization was supposed to create.
That is a terrifying consequence just for trying to save a trip to the bank.
It really is not worth it.
Speaking of terrifying liabilities, let's look at the document itself. Question 7 comes from Luna in Pennsylvania, asking about Nevada's specific handling of messy paperwork.
Oh, the blanks.
Yes. Luna is presented with a document that contains several obvious blank spaces. What must she ensure happens before she ever applies her stamp?
The options are A, notarize it so the signer can fill it in at home later. B, have the signer fill in the spaces or physically write N/A through them. Or C, keep a photocopy of the blank document for her records to prove how she received it.
Take 2 seconds.
What do you think?
The correct answer is B. The signer must fill in the blanks or write N/A. I look at this as the blank check rule.
It truly is. A blank space on a contract is a massive invitation for fraud.
Seriously.
Imagine a signer brings you a loan agreement where the interest rate line is blank. You verify their identity, watch them sign, and stamp it. You have just authenticated that document is complete and legitimate.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. The signer can walk out to their car, write in an exorbitant illegal interest rate on that blank line, and present it to a victim.
And the victim sees your official state seal and just assumes you verified the entire completed document. By leaving it blank, the notary unwittingly becomes an accomplice to fraud.
That is why Nevada requires every single blank space to be addressed. If a line doesn't apply to the transaction, the signer has to physically draw a line through it or write not applicable before you even reach for your stamp. It locks the document in time.
Which perfectly transitions us to how we record that moment in time. The notarial act might be perfect, but if the record of it is flawed, legally, it didn't happen.
So true.
Let's take another very quick pause, and when we come back, we'll dive into government oversight.
Stick around.
Okay, we're back. Let's look at question 8, brought to us by Nora in Illinois. Nora wants to know about state audits.
Always a fun topic.
Right. So if Nora receives a formal request from the Nevada Secretary of State to produce a specific electronic journal entry, how many days does she have to comply before facing suspension?
Your options for compliance are A, 5 days, B, 10 days, or C, 30 days.
Think about it.
Got it.
The answer is B, 10 days. And honestly, 10 days is incredibly fast in the corporate world.
It really is.
Most government responses allow 30 to 60 days. Why is the state demanding such rapid turnaround?
Because the Secretary of State isn't asking for your journal just to check your handwriting.
Good point.
Right. A journal request almost always means they are investigating active fraud. If a criminal ring is using forged power of attorney documents to drain an elderly person's bank accounts or fraudulently flip real estate titles, The state cannot wait 30 days to figure out who stamped the paperwork.
Wow. Yeah, the damage would be done.
Exactly. They need to freeze the damage immediately. 10 days means the state expects your records to be highly organized, searchable, and instantly accessible.
You definitely cannot be digging through dusty boxes in your garage when the state comes knocking.
Absolutely not.
This actually leads us to one of the most intense points of friction for employed professionals. Let's test you on question 9, the tools of the trade.
Oh, this one causes so many arguments.
I know. A notary decides to quit her job. Her employer paid for her notary stamp, paid for her journal with a corporate credit card, and paid her commissioning fees. The boss demands she leave the stamp and journal behind for the next employee. Under Nevada law, who legally owns them?
Is it A, the employer who paid for them, B, the state of Nevada, or C, the notary public?
Take a couple of seconds.
Lock it in.
The answer is C, the notary public. Now, I have to play devil's advocate here because this infuriates business owners.
I mean, it does.
If the company used its own capital to purchase the supplies, why is it considered illegal for the company to keep what it bought?
Well, it completely defies standard corporate property rules, but it is an intentional anti-coercion mechanism. Nevada classifies the stamp and journal as the exclusive personal property of the notary to sever the employer's leverage.
Break down how that plays out in a real office environment.
Sure. Imagine you work at a high-pressure real estate firm. It's Friday at 4:55 p.m. The boss needs a lucrative closing package pushed through, but the signer doesn't have valid ID. Right. If the boss owns the stamp, they can demand you leave it on your desk so someone else in the office can just handle it while you go home. Or the boss can threaten to withhold your journal so you can't prove you refuse to participate.
That is so toxic.
Very. By making the tools the exclusive property of the notary, the state empowers you to say no. You hold the ultimate liability, so you alone hold the keys. If an employer tries to withhold your stamp, they're actually committing a gross misdemeanor.
That is an incredibly powerful protection that separates the state officer from the corporate employee.
It does.
Let's move to our final challenge, question 10. We've discussed administrative fines and misdemeanors, but what happens when a notary's actions actively destroy someone's life?
The worst case scenario.
Yes. Let's look at Elias from Arizona, asking about just that. Elias is feeling intense pressure from a client to fudge a date on a document. If Elias willfully backdates a notarization, and that action directly results in irreparable harm to a victim like elder financial abuse, what does this crime escalate to under Nevada's Assembly Bill 148?
Your final options. A $2,000 civil fine. B, a gross misdemeanor. Or C, a Category D felony.
Take 2 seconds to think.
Got it?
The answer is C, a Category D felony. We really need to emphasize the gravity of this.
Yeah, please do.
A Category D felony is not a slap on the wrist or a fine you can just write off as a cost of doing business. It carries a mandatory prison sentence of 1 to 4 years in the Nevada State Prison.
The legislature elevated this specific crime because they recognize that a weaponized notary stamp can cause catastrophic damage. Civil lawsuits cannot fix irreparable harm.
Exactly. And when we say irreparable harm, we are talking about generational trauma.
Right.
If a notary deliberately backdates a fraudulent deed, an 80-year-old widow could be permanently evicted from a home she fully paid off decades ago. Or an entire family's generational wealth could be drained overnight by a forged medical directive.
It's heartbreaking.
The state is sending a very clear message. Your seal carries immense power, and if you use it to intentionally facilitate harm, you will lose your freedom.
It is the ultimate reality check for anyone in this profession.
Well, you survived the 10-question masterclass.
You did. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a fascinating paradox from our sources today. When you step back and look at Nevada's record-keeping framework, there is this incredible duality between the ancient and the modern.
Oh, I love this part.
Right. For traditional paper notarizations, the state requires physical journals to have pre-printed page numbers and physical sewn binding. It is a very tactile 19th century solution. You can visibly tell if a page has been ripped out or a fake page has been glued in.
But then, you look at the 21st century with electronic notarizations. Instead of sewn paper and ink, Nevada requires the digital platform to use a tamper-evident cryptographic wrapper to securely lock the digital document.
It's so cool.
If a bad actor alters a single pixel or a single character after you apply your digital seal, the cryptographic lock shatters, instantly flagging the file as corrupted.
It is genuinely brilliant. The state expertly blends ancient physical accountability with cutting-edge cryptography. Yeah, it really does.
The medium has completely changed. from paper and thread to algorithms and binary code, but the core human mission of protecting the integrity of the document remains exactly the same.
It is the perfect evolution of trust. We want to hear your thoughts and scenarios. Email your questions to Derrick at derrickspruill.com. We will try to answer as soon as possible at the end of our shows.
Thank you so much for joining us and doing the deep work today. Let's run the credits. Executive producer Derrick Spruill, lead writer Marylyn Trotter, graphics Eddie Montes Travis, music Thomas Bynum. Produced by Magnificent Workz Business Solutions.
Don't just be listeners of the knowledge, be doers of the knowledge. This is Notary Knowledge. Until next time.
Since you started your notary business, strive for excellence. Introducing the book, Notary Operational Excellence by Derrick Spruill. Build your business on a beacon of precision and trust with expert advice. Check out Notary Operational Excellence by Derrick Spruill from Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, Books of Million, Bookshop.org, Mobile Notary by DerrickSpruill.com, or download from Kindle today.
Time to elevate.